Today we have a Technics SL B30 belt drive turntable that we're going to be evaluating. So first, cosmetically, looks like it's in pretty good shape, just pretty dusty. Cover, we'll be doing a polish of the dust cover. It doesn't look too bad. There are some scratches. We'll compare kind of what it looks like now and what it looks like when we're all done, assuming we can get this thing working, or that it is working. So first, remove the dust cover and get that out of the way. And the interesting thing about this turntable, it has jacks for the RCA cables. It actually has a jack for the ground wire. And then it has its own power cord. So let's get it connected to power first. And right now I just want to see what it does mechanically before I even try to see if it makes any sound. Looks like there's no stylus on it. We'll see if I can find a stylus. So connect this to power. And grab my today's test record. So today's test record, Miles Davis. And the reason why this is a test record is I only have one of the albums and it's not in the greatest condition. So, but again, I just want to see kind of what this does. But you know, I don't even have a stylus on here, so I think this is a little premature. So first, let's see what's going on with this mechanically. And unlatch that. All right, cueing works. Came up. Move this into position. So, oh. All right, so it's kind of making a little bit of a thumping noise. Sounds like something's not going back into position. You know, I've had a couple of these where there's a little gear on the spindle that cracks. So when we get into service this, we're going to see if that's causing that issue. I mean, it looks like it would probably play. Looks like the cueing needs to be adjusted. If that had a stylus on it, that'd be dragging. Let's see if it returns, and it does. So that's good. So now we'll take a look at how accurate the speed is and whether or not we have to do any work with the pitch adjustment. So this is set for 33, as you can see right here. The pitch adjustment, and these are kind of hard to read out. So I'm assuming, according to this the little diagram, that the bottom strobe is 60 hertz, and we should be able to adjust that. And the way these pitch adjustments work, so if I turn it to the right, see how it sped up the bottom row. If I turn it to the left, it's slowing that down, but that is as close as I can get it right there. Now, one thing I will say is that the speed is consistent. So although I'll be cleaning this pitch control potentiometer, typically there are some additional adjustments underneath that we may have to tweak a little bit, may have to clean those a little bit. We'll just see kind of what's going on with this turntable. So let's go on to you know what, let's pop this platter off and look to see what's going on with that spindle next. So to look to see if we can determine what may be the issue with that catch when the auto return is trying to engage, we're going to first remove the slip mat. Now notice how there are two cutouts on the slip mat. So this turntable will actually auto sense the size of the record, right? So it knows where to drop the tone arm. So if you put a record down here, these will actually be depressed, although, you know, they're both kind of stuck down. So, but this one will be pushed down if it's a 45. So that one looks like it's already stuck in the down position. So we'll remove the belt, take the platter off. There's all sorts of gunk on the top of this, all sorts of grease, and that's not spinning freely at all. So just to kind of show you before we do the service on it, I mean, I guess it's spinning okay, but there's just some dark grease all along there, so we really need to get in there and clean that up. To do that, we'll flip it over. Looks like to remove that platter spindle, we need to remove these two screws. Trusty shop towel so don't make a mess. Pull this out of here. Looks like there may be an additional maybe something else I have to remove to get to that. That's not a screw or a nut. I don't know. Interesting. Well, I can tell you this plastic piece is not broken, so that's a good sign. But the trick is going to be figuring out how to remove that. I don't know if I remove this, if that'll come off or not. I can tell you there's a lot of old kind of gunky grease all over this thing that we'll need to clear out of here. Yeah, so that's preventing it from coming off. And that is, it's a clip, it looks like. Do this without sending it flying. Okay, I got it. Here's the spring. Here's the clip. I'll have to definitely reshape that clip. And now I can remove this. And I should. Nope. Well, I'll be. So it's almost like if I just open, oh, there we go. So what I did is I had to pry each one of these little tabs back just a little tiny bit. You can see the little tabs there, and you can see the amount of grease and gunk in there. Pulled each one of those little tabs back. So I did have to remove this after all. Now, with any luck, I can slide that out like so. And here is, it's just disgusting. I mean, it's a real thick, grease. That stuff's nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. This might be like a 10 cotton swab job. Just gonna rinse it off a little bit. Yep, this is gonna be quite a while. The outside is clean. I want to rinse that off, clean up some of this grease. Now on this one, because this is not sealed, I'm going to apply some lithium grease to the spindle and not use like an oil, because the oil will just kind of go right through here, right? Just drip onto the bottom of the base of the plinth, the base of the base. Man, every nook and cranny. I have to order some more cotton swabs. Well, it looks like I got most of that dark grease cleaned up out of there. And I'll take some of my lithium grease and gonna coat that. And then it looks where that plastic cap attaches. There was some inside that, oops, some inside that groove right there. Okay, so lithium grease applied. Give it a couple spins. Snap this into position. Should just push down. Should, but need to put something behind that while I put that in position. Make sure there's no notches or anything I have to worry about. That is super tight. Like it doesn't want to snap back into position. I'm sure I can just push it down, but I don't want to break it. And my problem is I have to back that. There we go. A little more stable. Might be able to use a little. There we go. All right. Okay, there we got it. Now, put this gear back into its position. I'm going to clean this out because it's full of nasty grease as well. A little bit of lithium grease in here. You know, before I do that though, I want to also clean off some of this old hardened grease as well. There's old stuff kind of all over. Time to rotate out my little shop towel. Put this back into position. That looks good. Now, spring washer, and I'm going to have to bend this little snap ring back into kind of its shape. Alright, so that's where it goes. Gotta get it down into the groove. Too much grease on there and I can't see where the groove is. Okay, I gotta go down quite a ways. I think we're good there. Just close this clip. I don't think I'm hitting the groove. The groove is... Oh, okay, I was on top of the groove. There's like a little lip there that the clip keeps getting stuck on, and I thought it was going in the groove, but it's sitting on top of it. Because now you can see where the, probably can't see it, but before I couldn't move the arms in to kind of pinch them together, and now can. So now they're back in their original position. So, this has been lubed, that's been lubed. Just looking at the motor control unit, I don't see any additional pots to clean. Here's the speed control or the pitch control potentiometer here. It's kind of a different one. Usually they're sealed, have little cutouts where you can get the cleaning spray in there using some fader lube. All right, I see the two variable resistors for 33 and 45. They're also on the bottom of the case, so they're right here. Pull that down. So you have variable resistor 1 and 2, because the goal is to have that pitch control centered in the middle, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put the bottom back on, because I also want to see if what we just did has any effect on the tone arm returning to the base. I don't think it probably did, but oh, and I have to put this little bracket back on first. So let's see what happens. first I want to see if that did anything. Oh. Should grab it, pick it up, move it over. All right, so that's still bound up there. So let's see if we can figure out what's going on with that. Okay, so just want to kind of look at mechanically what's supposed to be going on here. So you're looking at the underside of the turntable, right? So this is an upside down view. What I want to see is when I move the Tonearm over, I want to see what this mechanism's doing underneath here. So queuing is, oh, I need to plug it in. Queuing is up. And that's, okay, I'm going to hit the start button and see what happens. So there's start. I don't know about you, I can't see what's making that noise. Now it sounds like the noise is coming from underneath the platter. It's kind of what it sounds like. Like when I'm trying to determine what's making the noise, it sounds like it's coming from underneath here. And I don't understand why these aren't. So that one's good. And me make sure I don't need a, maybe I need a disc on here. Let me throw a disc on here. See if that's the problem. I would expect to see those popping, and maybe they are. I may have not paying attention. Get my test record. Okay, so that moves into the correct position. And then end of the record. Needs to be adjusted. Okay, I see it now. Okay, you can kind of see right about there. I have to see what that is and what that part's job is. Always an adventure. We're back on the Lazy Susan to look at that part that kept clicking. So this, and that's got a ton of grease on it. I wonder if there is so this is the part that felt like it was kind of stuck. So what is going on with that? Like see if this kind of freeing that stuff up, moving it back and forth did anything. I'm sure it did not. You know what, I'm gonna let's see what happens first. Okay, there it goes. So goes to the end. Nope, no luck. It's an awful lot of work for a turntable that's not worth an awful lot of money, so. Nice turntables, just not really worth much. Okay, so I'm watching everything underneath kind of move around. It's like, I don't know. So that stops, let's repeat. So I think I'm getting close on, if I rotate, so let me show you what this looks like. So if I hit, right, this is the start button, right, and I'm turning this the same direction a record would go. So watch this gear here, right? When I hit the start button, it engaged the little clutch, and now all of this mechanism is moving. Well, when it gets to this point, no, not yet. I'm going to take that gear off and see if I can lube that. Maybe that's the problem. I think I can remove it without removing this other one. So it's got a little C-clip there. Let's see if I can remove that. It's got a lot of gunky grease. And sticky grease. Nasty, gunky, sticky grease. And it looks like I've got to remove this one again. Well, you know, do it right the first time. I should have removed that initially, but for some reason I didn't. Well, at least I did this once before, so hopefully it's not a little bit easier this time around. All right. I've removed the clip and the washer. I will remove this gear again. And I will pop this gear out. And put that to the side. And there's really no... I mean, there's some grease underneath, but I don't think that's causing this issue. Pay me now, pay me later. Get some. Thank you. That grease is so nasty. It's just feel it. See it on the cloth there. Get a good little bath here. Again, I don't think this is the problem, but it's getting to the point where I don't know what else I can do with this turntable. It may be a set aside and think about it later project. Do you suppose I have any idea how that spring goes on there? Nope. Removing that old grease and relubing that did it. I mean, to me it didn't seem like it was all that sticky, but okay, there it starts, goes to the end, comes back, and it shuts itself off. So I should have removed that gear and lubed it when I had it apart. Lesson learned there, lesson learned. Not the first time I've learned that lesson either. Lesson learned. So now we're going to work on, for the pitch adjustment, we're going to kill the light on the side so we can see the strobe better. And I'm going to start it. There we go. And I'm going to center the pitch adjustment. So let's see. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. So we'll go 1.5. So that's roughly centered. And hopefully you can see. We're on 33, so we're looking at the bottom 2 lines. And I just want to see how off it is right now. Let me, while that's spinning. Turn on my iPhone. And while that's running, I'm going to hit one of the 2 openings on the bottom. I can see them. My RPM meter. Just want to see what this is doing right now. It's spinning fast. It's at 41. Even though it's set to 33. So let's see, I need to line those 2 spots and adjust that down. Let's see. Oh, looks like I need a longer screwdriver. It's funny, before I even considered shooting repair videos, it's amazing how quickly and efficiently a lot of those repairs were. And then the second I start shooting a video, everything is taking a lot longer. So, you know, I think I was hitting the wrong holes. These holes are the ones that I wanted to adjust, but still, yeah. That screwdriver's kind of maxed right there. So I'll adjust these from up top and see what happens. So So you have 2 variable resistors, VR1, VR2. VR2 is for 33, VR1 is for 45. Actually, I'm going to use my adjustment tool, a little adjustment tool that I use. And I'm going to, because it's running fast, I'm going to turn it clockwise. And that's too small. Maybe this one would be better. Nope. There we go. In fact, I'm going to spray these with some fader lube, working back and forth. And then I just need to remember that these are in the back left of the unit, not front left. Because the bottom has 2 sets of openings. So I'm just cleaning those, and since I'm going to adjust it, I'll get it both on 33 and 45. Man, those are really stiff. Those are really, really stiff to move. So what I was talking about is I was hitting these holes and there was nothing back there. So it's these two, and it's 33 is the one towards the back and 45 is the one that's more forward of that one. I want to make sure I can get to those. So I have the turntable in position now. I'm going to insert the screwdriver into the variable resistor opening and start adjusting if I can. Oh, that might be the wrong one. Yep, I'm adjusting 45. Okay. I'm not going to say okay. So I'm going to start adjusting the speed by turning that variable resistor with it on so I can see what it's doing. So I'm just slightly turning it to the right, and you can see how it's kind of locked itself into position there. Now we'll switch to 45. And I'll do the same thing. This is hard to do when you can't see the board. And there we have 45. That variable resistor is touchy, but I want to get it close. And then the pitch adjustment can kind of lock it in. Okay, so there's 33. See, that bottom line is locked in pretty good. 45 is locked in. Let me check with my RPM meter on my phone. And it says 33.21. You notice how the weight did slow it down just a little bit. So if I bump it up, now it's 33.3. Right on the nose. And just to confirm my repair on the auto return, we'll see the lights go out here in a second once it turns itself off and rests on the armrest. So mechanically, I'm going to call this good. Now on to, well, once I get this together, we'll go on to the dust cover. In the music hall MMF video, I kind of went over how I do it. What I'll do is I'll just have a video, or what I'll do with the video here is I'll just speed it up. That way you don't have to watch all the different steps. So clean up my bench here real quick and get started. Actually, before I do the dust cover, I do want to wipe this down real quick. There, it's not very dirty. It's not in horrible shape, but I do want to Just kind of wipe this off. Get some of the gunk out of some of these little grooves here. I'll speed this up. Alright, so now that we've cleaned it up, we'll go on to buffing out the dust cover. Now before I button this back up, I want to test for sound, which I have not done yet. So as I mentioned earlier, this has jacks on the back for RCA cables. So I'll connect these. It also comes with a jack for the ground wire. Put that in position. Plug that in. Attach the ground wire to my ground wire here. I did find the stylus, and it appears to be, well, there's a tip on it. That's all I can say. I don't know if it's good or bad, but it does have a tip. Throw on my Miles Davis test record, get some sound. And see what happens. Oh, you know what I need to do first? Okay, queuing is up. We need to adjust the arm height. So this is really, really low. So to adjust the arm height, to raise, or not the arm height, but to raise the Tonearm elevator, this little lifting bar, right, we can adjust it using this screw right here. And I believe, let's see which way is up and down on this. That's lowering it. So if you, wow. Alright, so tightening it moves that elevator down. Loosening it doesn't do anything. What do you know? Another adjustment we have to do. Woohoo! Yay! Alright. Let's see how high that is. See, that's basically touching the record right there. Alright, so good thing I tested that first. We'll need to look underneath here and figure out what the issue is with the Tonearm elevator. Tell you, some days you're just really efficient and quick and you don't make mistakes, and then there are days like today where or projects I should say, where it seems like whatever's going to go wrong or whatever can go wrong does. So here's the lever that activates the Tonearm elevator. Oh no, that's repeat. Tonearm elevator is right here. And doesn't appear as though there's anything out of place underneath. So what's happening is this is rotating itself over. There's a little tiny lever. Let's see if I can get that on camera. If you look right down here, right, you might be able to see kind of what's going on. Right, that kind of flips over, and then a little tiny extension moves the Tonearm elevator up into position. But what I don't understand is why I'm limited as to how high that can go. Right, so because what should happen as I move, oh, it does look like it came up a little bit. All right. Let's see what that did. And I just want to check this for height before I put the bottom back on it. Yeah, so now it's quite a bit higher. So I think maybe this was maybe stuck. Well, evidently it was stuck because it didn't move. Alright, just want to put this back into position. Underneath like so. Flip this over, knock that over. Put the stylus back on. Much better. All right, here's the test run. See what happens. It's going. I'm getting no sound. There we go. Had it on the wrong input. Okay, sound out of both channels. Didn't want to play too much of that. And it automatically repeated itself. So that sounds alright. Speed's a little bit off with the record on, so let's adjust that down. And we're good. All right, so now we're on to buttoning this back up on the bottom. So we're going to flip it over. And screw everything back in. All right, now on to the dust cover. I'm going to speed through this. If you want to know exactly what I do, you can look at the, or watch the Music Hall MMF 5 video. I do want to just kind of show you the before condition, not in bad shape by any stretch of the imagination. So that's what it looks like before I buff it. All right, so let's get into it. So took out most of the smaller scratches. There's still some pretty large scratches in here, but I'd say that's pretty clean. I mean, again, it's not going to be perfect, but I'd say that's pretty presentable. So last thing to do is just kind of finish cleaning this off and putting the turntable back together and taking it to the shop. Alright, so here is the finished product. A little bit cleaner than it was. Functioning properly now. It's been serviced, lubed. So I guess that's it for this one. If you like what you see, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time.